I just want to give you a little bit of an introduction to this course. And so as you can see, this is your home page, and it is broken down by week. So each week you're going to have all these items here, but the most important thing is that generally you're going to have a quiz each week. So this is the lecture notes for this week. This is some supplemental material if you want to read more. And this is the quiz. So you can see you have a data collection quiz that's on your textbook chapters. And this is your syllabus quiz. We'll go over your syllabus a little bit later, and I'll say a few words on your syllabus. But if you just read through your syllabus, these questions will correspond to the syllabus. Okay. So on your weekly quiz that has material in your textbook, this is your quiz. And you can see that there are these PowerPoint slides. If you want to use these, you're welcome to. And there's also a corresponding video that you can watch. You can look at both the notes and the video, or one or the other. If you feel that the notes are sufficient to answer your homework questions and your course needs, you're welcome to just use the lecture notes or videos. But if you would like to reference your textbook, I have the chapters that you should read here. If you prefer to use a different text, this one's free and online. So that's the online stats textbook. And then there's also another online stats textbook, Introductory Statistics, that you can read. I will point out that these notes follow the course textbook, and some material from textbook to textbook might have slightly different answers or definitions, such as these two sources, than your course textbook. And generally, I grade on the course textbook and the lecture notes. Okay, so just FYI, that's how the formulas that I use always match the course textbook generally, okay? And the lecture notes. So if you like to use these lecture notes, you can preview them, you can download them, whatever you like, and you preview them, as you can see, here's material, and it corresponds, talking about statistics and parameters, various definitions, and the material that you'll cover each week. Okay. There's some important information on this. So for instance, and this will vary from quiz to quiz, it tells you the points. It tells you that there's no time limit. Okay, so you shouldn't feel rushed. You can reference your textbook, any of the other sources you like, your lecture notes. You're allowed multiple attempts, but again, this varies based on quiz to quiz, so you need to carefully check this each time. It tells you that there's 2 attempts on this quiz, and it keeps your average score. Okay. And here's some other informations that may be of use for you. Okay, just FYI, I'm going to preview this quiz just so that you know what to expect for your very first quiz. Okay, and you should reference these lecture notes or your textbook, any of the textbooks that you would like. And here's a question. It asks this: the newspaper reports higher rates of drowning and ice cream consumptions correspond. Does this mean eating ice cream can put you at risk of drowning? What might be the reason behind this phenomenon? And here you're to select your single best answer. In other questions, there are a few in which you may be asked to select all answers that can apply. Okay, so here's a single answer. Let's scroll down. Here, this question on a data set, an actual study. Okay, and this was data that was collected on pay disparity between men and women. So they have the annual salary at time of hire, and they have a certain other characteristics such as how senior the person is, their age, their education, their experience. And it's asking you to select all answers that apply to this study/data set. or steady end data set. You can see that there are a few other questions here. It asks you to select all that apply. And then you'll take these quiz. There are 9 questions, and you'll submit it, and you'll get your average score. You can take this twice. Okay. So each week you'll have at least one quiz like this. So week 2, there's just one quiz. Here's the lecture notes, and if you click on the quiz, you can see it has the same type of information. It has your slides, it has the video, it has the material that you can read in your books if you'd like. Then, if I was to preview this, you'd see a bunch of questions that are pretty similar to last time, in which you have to select an answer, and you generally select the best answer, or if the question indicates all answers that apply. Okay. So I'll go back. Let's go home. And you can see that there's an outline here each week. Then after a few weeks, in week 6, you have an exam. And that's all that you're supposed to prepare for that week. There's a review you can take, and then there's the actual exam. Keep in mind in the review, the review isn't timed. You got to take it many times. So your review score may not correspond to your exam score. I strongly suggest you study very hard for your exams, both going over your review and old homework, but also you may want to treat this review as an exam. Okay. You can see here there's a draft or an introduction, which is titled Final Project. Then there's more weeks that are similar. So in week 7, you're just supposed to focus on that. Week 8, back to quizzes and covering materials, and so on. You'll see that there's another exam 2 somewhere here, then more drafts, a final project, and a final exam, each outlined in each week. Okay. So let me go over the syllabus at this point. Okay. So this is an online class, you should keep in mind that this is a recording for both my in-person class and my online class. So some of you are going to be online, some of you will have some in-person, and some of you are just going to be online. Okay. I will post information on my office hours so that you can join them via Zoom at some point in the second week of the semester. Okay. And I will also put it here. Okay. Most of the office hours and most of my correspondence in these courses tend to be via email. So I have an outline and a template for email correspondence. I also want you to know that I try, but I often fail to have a life. So if you send me an email on the weekend or like on Friday in the afternoon, you should assume that that's the same as sending me an email on the weekend. I probably won't respond until Monday, or perhaps slightly longer if I'm swamped with emails. Okay, so if you send me an email on the weekend, you should consider that an email sent on Monday. Okay, you should also be prepared that an email response, I do my best, but generally I ask for 48 hours in response time, and that can happen that it takes that long, especially if I get a lot of emails or if I have a lot of things going on that week. Okay. To help me help you, I'm asking that you follow this template. Okay. And please, please, please follow this template, because otherwise I may email you back and say, hey, can you answer these questions? And most of these questions typically are outlined in this template. Okay. So please include the text or a picture of the question that you'd like me to help you solve a question on. Okay. If it's something other than a problem, then please type your question as best you can. Okay. If you can, tell me what you tried as a possible solution. You can send me a photograph if you'd like. Okay. Please put Math 1040 in the subject line, and please put your name somewhere. Okay. So the required textbook for this course is Statistics and Data Analysis 6th edition by Peck, Short, and Olson. I've found that this introductory statistics is very good. In some of the later chapters towards the end of the course, introductory statistics uses valid formulas, but formulas that are slightly different than that are used in this course, in this textbook, and I always follow the conventions of the course notes and the course textbook. Okay, so if you do decide to use another book, one of the two that I suggested, perhaps here or here, you just have to be careful towards the end of the course to make sure that things are being done in the same way, because this textbook has slightly different conventions and formulas than the other books. Okay, and they both are valid. Okay. I am going to assume everyone has this prerequisite since you're enrolled in this course. There is free online tutoring in the solution space. If you'd like to use it, you can Google it. You will definitely need a calculator for this course. And in fact, we use several online calculators. Okay. Your grading weights, you have a group project that's worth 15%. Your homework, which mainly consists of those weekly quizzes, is worth 30. Each exam is worth 15% of your final grade. So keep in mind, the homeworks are worth as much as the 2 exams put together. And your final exam is worth 25%. That is a comprehensive final exam. Now I should note, I have reviews for exam 1 and 2, but there is no review for your final exam. Okay, the review for your final exam is this course. Okay, and it is comprehensive. It's it is the whole course. Okay. Your exam days, there are variable length because I know that a lot of you have work schedules, so you can take it exam 1 anytime from the 1st through the 10th. Your second exam, the 12th through the 21st. Your final exam, well, it's a little bit more cramped because it is a final exam and we only have those like 4 days to take it. So your final exam, you can take any time between the 10th and the 14th. Okay. Okay. So items 1 and 2 here are just asking you to please note well the due dates, especially the exam due dates. Okay. A late, if you're missing a homework or something like that, I'm going to let you take it late, but it comes with a late penalty of 5% per day. So please keep that in mind. Okay. So the sooner you take something and make something up, the better. Okay. You are, as a student, entitled to access to the New York Times for your assignments, and you'll need it for some of your assignments, depending on what project you select. Okay, and you can click here to sign up and get your free access. Okay. I want you to know that, core beliefs, if you believe there's material that conflicts with the class, you need to let me know within the first week so that I can try and accommodate you. In certain situations, it might not be possible. I want you to know that there's a review for the exam. I'll correct that typo, but not for the final exam. Okay. Depending on how COVID goes, there may be some situations in which there will be additional policy posted. Okay. Now, for some of you, this is an online class, and I want you to know that you're expected to complete all your work for this course outside of class. That's why there's recorded lectures. That's why there's PowerPoints. That's why there's online quizzes. This is also a sustainable class. Okay, it's in the course designation. And what this practically means is that you'll have a group project or signature assignment that will center on a theme of sustainability. There are certain sustainability learning outcomes, which are that students will be able to comprehend the interconnection between environmental, social, and economic impacts in relation to sustainability. And there's also the disciplinary outcome that I want you to understand how statistical analysis helps to answer questions related to sustainability. Okay. Your group signature assignment is required for this course. If you can't complete it as a group, you're allowed to complete it as an individual. Okay. Your group size can generally be about 1 to 5. And there should be generally the length. I think 3 is extremely, extremely short. I think the more short end on which I've seen it is about 4.5, while still being succinct enough to address all the prompts. But most people go somewhere between 4 and 10 pages. If you believe you can get it done in 3, you're welcome to try. Just make sure you've answered all the questions to the full extent. Okay. You're required to have journal, book, article citations, and your signature assignment needs to answer this big question: to what extent is statistics able to make conclusions on issues related to sustainability? Okay. There are some other questions here. I'll let you read a little bit more about it, but I want to discuss your final project with you here. Okay. Your final grade is going to be calculated as follows. Okay. Then, I just expect everyone to be professional in this class. Okay. In the event that you can't, and I reserve the right to assess a penalty. Okay. So, the final thing I'd like to discuss with you is your group signature assignment, which you may complete individually if you like. I've outlined for you 2 signature assignments. One of them is the Salt Lake City Temperature Project or the Pay Disparity Project. Okay. So for this signature assignment in the Salt Lake City Temperature Project, I describe the data here, and I'm asking you to have this rough outline. But it's very important that you do not write in bullets. If you do, you will be marked off points. This essay is to be written in an essay format. Okay? And note, I'm just asking you to do this research. I don't want your opinion, but if you do want to put it in, you're allowed to do it at the very end, and you have to limit yourself to 1 paragraph. You're welcome to say whatever your personal opinion is, okay? But this project is just to report what facts you find, okay? So you are to define sustainability in your introduction. What are 2 different causes? You need to cite your sources, and here I want you to discuss certain implications, and again, do not write in bullets, but read these papers and answer these specific questions. So, how green spaces affect climate change, how it affects older people, etc. You're to read this article here and this article here. Okay, and when you read this article, I want to know what are 2 explanations for nights warming faster than days, and why is that? Okay. Okay. I want you to also discuss your data. Okay. Then for your statistical analysis, that's under your methods. I want you to answer all these questions here And this is rather lengthy because this is everything that you learn during this course. And I shouldn't say everything because there are things that, you know, I don't ask you to do that you do learn in this course. But to answer these questions, you'll need to complete this course. So I won't go through these items in detail, but they will make sense as you complete this course. Okay. Then finally, I ask you for a discussion and a final conclusion. And here you may put in your personal opinion if you like. Excuse me. Now, here are some other articles, some articles you may read if you like. Many of them are put above. Okay. Now, this is one possible signature assignment that you may choose. I want to emphasize here that I do believe that this signature assignment for the temperature is easier than the pay disparity one because I very concretely have an outline in which you can answer these questions, and as long as you answer these questions to the full extent, I anticipate a good grade for individuals. I don't guarantee one, but I personally think that this is the easier one because of how detailed this outline is. Okay. This pay disparity project you may select, it's less outlined, and you have to fill in these blanks with solid details. Okay. So in this pay disparity project, it's a real data set that was data collected on a specific banks for employees hired between 1965 and 1975, and they want to know, were the starting salaries of men higher than women at this bank? They have several variables collected, so it's possible that there is a pay disparity, but it could be because of other variables such as experience or education or age. Okay, and so I want you to explore this data set, but I also want you to tell me a little bit about various impacts, such as how gender discrimination can affect society based on your research. Okay, explain how gender discrimination is an issue of sustainability. So again, very broad and undetailed here. You're to further expand in detail at least one main theme from the introduction. Okay. Again, a very broad question and not as well defined as some of the other questions. Why is gender discrimination difficult to prove, and why is data useful? Okay. Then the data analysis, and these are all things that you learn in the course. I want you to do all these things, and there's a lot in these 2 bullet points. Okay. And I might even say these 3 bullet points. Okay. And this is a slightly trickier analysis than what I have in the Salt Lake City temperature assignment. Okay, so here, as you can see, fewer bullets, but a lot more for you to fill in. Then some discussion and conclusions that you are welcome to put here. Again, I'm not looking for your personal opinion. I'm looking for you to do the research and report back what you find and answer these questions. Okay. If you do have a personal opinion, you are welcome to put it, but you must follow this outline here. Okay. Now I'm going to go back and go here, and as you can see, you're going to look at this signature assignment several times, and you're going to submit a draft, first just on the introduction and implications, then on the data analysis, so statistical analysis, and on the final, then you'll turn it in a week later and incorporate those changes and finish off the project, complete everything else and submit it. Okay, and that happens relatively quickly. Then you have your final exam. Okay. Now I also want to just click on the statistical analysis draft because I go through a video in which I do the data analysis, I'm not, so if you click on this, I have a lot of the data analysis done for you, and I want your interpretation on this, okay? So I'm asking you to complete, so this analysis that I provide for you is not all of your analysis, and I'm not asking you to copy and paste this analysis. I'm telling you that you'll need to do some additional analysis for your final submission, okay? And you might ask, oh, where is this analysis? So first, this is your data set. And if you click on this, you'll download the data, okay? And if you want to look at a video of me doing some of the analysis, it's right here. But I also provide that output for you. And when you preview this, please read this instruction as I will grade you on it. It says you are welcome to use this analysis to complete the analysis section of the signature assignment, or you may do your own data analysis and use your own software. I'm assuming most of you will use Excel, but some of you might use R or Python or or a Stat Lab or something like that. And you're welcome to use all of that. You might get slightly different numbers than I did. I personally used RStudio, and they have their algorithms that they use. So different software might give you slightly different numbers, but they'll be similar, okay? If you don't want to run statistical software, you can use this output that I provided for you. But you should not copy and paste this analysis, except where you are asked to or you need to, okay? If you simply copy and paste this output and turn it in, I'm going to give you a 0, except for the questions where it just asks for something I provided for you. You are expected to put this analysis in your own words and interpret the analysis, okay? I'm not asking you to submit what I've already given you, but I'm asking you to explain it, okay? Be sure to expand on the meaning of the analysis in the context of the questions and provide the output to the numbers and analysis needed for your explanation. And as I said, if you prefer, you're welcome to use and do your own analysis in your own software. And here you can see that I have the scatter plot for you. I have some of these equations of the regression model. And please do not keep this highlighting except if you intend to explain what it is and why it's important, okay? So here I have some other output for you, like multiple r squared. I want you to tell me what multiple r squared means, okay? And you can keep reading through this paper, etc. Okay, so it has some output that you can use in your assignment if you like. And I also do the same thing for the pay disparity project, okay? And we can preview that right here. Okay. Okay. And it more or less has the same instructions that I just gave to you, but please read it over. Okay, and here's some output, here's some data, okay, more output, and I'm expecting you to explain this output. I won't go through it all, but it's here if you want to use it, and it's under the statistical analysis draft assignment. Okay, so that more or less is a rough outline of this course, and more or less you just need to follow each week's items that are listed here until you get to your final exam. Okay, I just want to say it's a pleasure to have you in this course, and I hope that you're able to see some of the applications of statistics in real life. One more note is just on your signature assignment. If you have a different signature assignment that you like, you know, you're welcome to try it, but coming up with the data and the actual assignment can be difficult. So I strongly recommend using one of the two I suggested, except if you have a burning passion to do something else. but know that it's going to take a lot more time and energy from you, and the onus is on you in that situation. Okay, so thank you for joining me, and I look forward to talking with you, most likely via email. Bye.